Round 3. Welcome to round number 3 of our extreme rust test. Guys, we got 6 more products that we're going to do here. These are ones that you guys wanted to see. And we do have some others that we're not getting to this time around, but maybe on the next one, if we get a few more to add to it, we'll do that in the future. So anything you want to see, guys, just like always, send it to me. We'll write it down and we'll get to it when we can. But what we're going to be testing here tonight, guys, is FP10. This is a shooter's choice product. It's supposed to really be good on the lubricant side, but it also is supposed to be a cleaner and preservative as well. Weapon Shield has a fantastic reputation, so we're going to test it. Product that is relatively new to me is called G-Lube. Just recently found out about it. Product that I'm really interested in finding out is Ezox. Got a very good reputation behind this. I'm really curious how this is going to do. Another newer product to me is one called Strikehold. And then, of course, as the title says, the Glock Factory Copper Base Grease. This is the actual stuff. Got it on good authority that's what they use when it comes from the factory. There it is. So we're gonna test these out. Now guys, I want y'all to keep in mind real quick, this is an extremely harsh test, okay? It is not scientific. I'm not measuring anything out. You're just gonna have to take it on my word that this is the same type of metal. I mean, it's not, this is not a scientific controlled test. This is an everyday layman's common sense test. Put this stuff on here and see what happens. The only thing that we're doing outside of that is we're using 100% salt. Now guys, the salinity factor of the oceans of the world, the one that has the highest salinity factor is the Atlantic Ocean by average. It's like 3 to 5%. This is 100% salinity factor. This is literally 100% salt, liquid salt. Okay? You're never probably going to run into this in the real world. This is not like taking these things and setting them outside and letting nature take its course. Fred Hart does a fantastic job with products in that respect. His Plate of Truth series was the inspiration for me to do this. He does a great job with those. So you get a product here, a product that you love, does not perform what you think is very well here. Don't get all ass hurt thinking that it's a crappy product, because it's not. Doesn't necessarily mean that it is. You go over and Fred has tested some of those same ones and they've done pretty well in the real world. And I actually had people say, "Hey, you faked it. It didn't do right. Fred did it. It came out just perfect." Just because their ass hurt because their product is not the best in the world. Well, hey, not surprising. Like I said, that is more of a real world environment. This gives you a reference point to see what could happen in extreme conditions. Okay? So if it holds up under this, chances are it's going to do damn well in that situation. Not 100% saying that it will. I'm just saying chances are. But just bear that in mind that this is a forced rust test, okay? So, the only one of these products that has any kind of instructions or special applying instructions to it is the Ezox. It says you're supposed to put it on and let it dry first. And then after that, you put a thin coat on it and it's good to go. I do not want somebody coming back like it's done in the past. "You didn't put it on right. That's the reason it didn't do very good." Well, if you go back and look at that dadgum video, you'll read down in the comments, it was applied the way you think that it should be applied by somebody else, and it didn't make any difference. So keep that in mind. We don't even want that situation to come up now. So we're going to do exactly what it says, and we're going to put a small coat of this on and let it dry, and then we'll come back and continue. So we'll see what happens with the Ezox. This is... like I said, this is one that I'm really interested in. Really want to see how this does. So let's put it on. And let's let it dry. And it says it takes anywhere from 10-15 minutes, maybe up to an hour. So we're going to let it dry. And when it's dried, we'll come back and we'll start the test. So hey, I'll see you guys in just a minute. Okay guys, we're back. The Ezox has gone ahead and dried, and ouch. We've heated up one part of this. The only one of these that requires heat to activate is G-Lube. Now it does say that it requires, I think it's 170 degrees to become active. So we went ahead and finished up heating it up. I don't know if it's 170 or not, but it's it's freaking hot. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on first while it is hot, and we'll see what happens. Jeez, I got that too hot. But anyway, it's the only one that claimed that it needed to have heat to activate. So we've got it on there now. And the rest of them, we're just gonna do normal. All right, there we go. So we've already got our G-Lube on. Let's go ahead and get our FP10 on there as well. Our Ezox did dry, guys. Took almost an hour. About 48 or 9 minutes, something like that. But it did get dry. And this is our FP10. And again, we're just using standard patches. No, I'm not measuring it out, so if you think I put a little too much on one of them, oh well, do a test yourself. Okay, and our weapon shield is next. This has a really good rep. Interested to see how this is going to perform. About right. Okay. I'm going to reapply Ezox again. Drops are a little bit bigger, so I'm going to put 3 on that one. And our strike cold, we're of course squirt bottle, so we're going to try to do the best we can. Oh well. Let's see here. Sure, we got a clean one. We got them. Make sure we got enough. And then last but definitely not least, as the title says, the Glock copper grease compound. Let's see what we have here. It's still hot. Now when we get our Glocks, this stuff's on there pretty good. So let's just let's make sure we got a good coat of it on there. Now I don't know exactly how good of a protectant this is, but I know it's an anti-seize compound, and that's why they say it works right out of the box. So we'll see what it does. Okay, guys, that's it. It is a little after 8 a.m. It is Monday morning, so let's just see what we got going on. We've got everything applied. We'll be back in 2 hours. We'll check it, and hey, we'll go from there. See you guys then. We're back. That was quick. How about putting the freaking dadgum salt on there, dumbass? All right, so here we are. We're gonna spray it down now. There we go. Now, we'll be back in about 2 hours. It's still almost 10 after 8. We'll be back in about 2 hours and check it. Then keep my head on. Don't know. See you guys in a bit. Okay, guys, we're back. It's about 10 o'clock. So not quite 2 hours, a few minutes removed, but close enough. And pretty much as expected, not really anything going on. Nothing at all here. There's the control. There's our Ezox. There's our FP10. Here's our weapon shield. This is our strike hold. our copper base grease. Now guys, don't worry about this brownish color here. That's the color of the grease, so there's not any oxidation happening there. And here's the G-Lube. So it all looks pretty good. That's not much unexpected. So let's go ahead and let's hit it again. And so there we go. We got it all covered again. And we'll be back in 2 hours to check it again. See you guys then. Okay, we're back just after 12. And starting to get a little bit on the control here, guys. Starting to show up just a little bit here on the control. EZOC still looks pretty clear to me. So does the FP10. Weapon shield still looks good. The strike hole still looks okay. G-Lube looks good so far. And then of course our copper base grease, don't see anything trying to form under it or anything. So everything still looks good. Starting to get a little bit right here, which is expected at the 4 hour mark. So let's hit it again. And okay, see you guys in 2. Okay guys, here we are about 1400, and let's take a good look. Looks like our control definitely starting to get some more rust there. More showing up. And here's our FP10. You know, maybe just a little bit. I guess it was a shadow. Looks good. This is our EZOC side. It looks good. Our strike cold. Doesn't look like anything's happening there. Our weapon shield. Nothing there. G-Lube. It looks pretty good. And as far as I can tell, the copper base grease, don't see anything in there. So guys, we're 6 hours in here, and the only thing that's rusting is the control. So I know this is 100% salt, so we must have some good products here. Kind of thought this might be our best run. So let's go ahead and let's get some more squirts on here. And there's some more. We'll be back in 2, and we'll check it again. I'll see you then. Okay guys, we are at 1600, just a little bit after 1600. We definitely have some reaction going on now. This is our control. You can see some rust definitely hitting there. The EZOCs, I don't know guys, still looks pretty good. Don't really see anything there. The FP10, it looks good to me too. Down here to weapon shield, again, it looks really good. And then the strike hold looks like it's starting to give away a little bit. So sometime between 6 and 8 hours, strike hold's definitely getting some oxidation to start to appear. The copper grease compound still looks good. Like I said, this is the color of the copper itself, so let's not go by that. And then our G-Lube. Our G-Lube definitely looks pretty good. So it looks like right now, guys, the only one that seems to be having any kind of reaction other than the control is the strike hold. So it comes with a pretty good rep, but everything else seems to be holding good. So let's give a couple more squirts. And all right, we'll be back and we'll check it in 2 hours. That'll be the 10-hour mark, see where we're at then. All right, talk to you guys then. Okay guys, we're back just after 1800, and let's hop in here and see what we got. Of course, our control still rusting up more and more and more. This is our EZOCs. I still don't see anything. FP10, you know, there may be some just starting right up in here a little bit, but maybe just a little bit starting. This is down on our weapon shield. Looks clear. This is our strike hold. It's starting to get a little bit more on it. Of course, the Glock copper grease. Can't tell if anything's there or not. Doesn't look like it. And then our G-Lube. It looks clear. So at the 10-hour mark, guys, it looks like the FP10 may be starting to give way just a little bit. And of course our strike hold, and that's it. Everything else is still clear. So let's give some more squirts. And that's it. We'll be back in 2. That'll be the 12-hour mark. See where we're at then. Talk to you guys then. Okay guys, here we are, almost 8 p.m. Pretty close to it. So we're almost into it, 12 hours. Of course our control looks pretty rough still. And we come down to our FP10. It's definitely starting to break down a little bit on the FP10. The EZOX though, guys, it looks pretty good. Maybe, I'm gonna say no. I don't really see any. Some shadowing, but that's about it. The strike hold, definitely getting some reaction there. And it looks like the weapon shield is starting to break down just a little bit right in here. The G-Lube, still clear, looks good. And of course the copper base still looks good. So right now the copper base, the G-Lube, and the EZOX, and that may be just a little bit, but I think that's really just shadowing. Maybe just a little bit, but I'm gonna say it's still clear. So right now the copper base, the G-Lube, and the EZOX are holding. FP10 is starting to give a little bit more. The strike hold is definitely giving, and the weapon shield is starting to give in. So the 12-hour mark, we're gonna go ahead and spray it again. And then we'll be back about 2200, and we'll check it then for the last time this evening. Then we'll check it one more time in the morning before we go to work. We'll spray it at 10 p.m. We'll spray it again in the morning, and then tomorrow night we should have our results. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in 2. Okay, guys, it is just after 2200, so that puts us about 14 hours in. And of course, our control is all rusty. We already knew our FP10 was starting to break down. And look at here, starting to get a little bit on the EZOX. Not much, but it is starting to break just a little bit. Strike hold is continuing to break down. Weapon shield starting again here. Still, it's not too much worse than right off the bat, but it is. It's still there. And on our G-Lube, guys, it still looks pretty clear, but it is just starting right in here. You can see it just starting to hit. Okay. And over here on our copper base, I still can't tell. I don't think there's anything happening there. So definitely looks like our EZOX is starting to hit just a little bit. And looks like some of our G-Lube area is, again, it looks like it's starting to hit a little bit. So what we're gonna do, looks like these two have lasted almost 14 hours. And so let's go ahead and let's hit this one more time. And we'll be back at, I'm gonna say about 7 hours, about 5 a.m. We'll look at it there again, and then we'll squirt it one more time, and then we may just wrap this thing up tomorrow night sometime. So I'll see you then. Okay guys, we have a train again this morning. Sorry, it's a little after 6, about an hour later than I wanted to be, but that's okay. Let's give a final look here real quick at what we got. This is our control. Naturally, it's just out there. It's our FP10, definitely showing a lot of reaction. Definitely also on the EZOX, but still holding up well. This is our strike hold. This is our weapon shield. It's showing some. Our G-Lube still looks pretty good. Still looks, in my opinion, about it, and the EZOX look about the best, but still some here and here, and or excuse me, in the factory. Maybe just a little right up in here, but still it looks pretty good. So let's give this thing one more spray here, guys, and that'll do it. That's going to be our last bit of our spray. We'll come back tonight and we'll wrap this thing up. It'll be about the 36-hour mark, about 8 p.m., something like that. We'll wrap it up and we'll see where we're at that point. All right, guys, we'll see you in about about 14 hours. Okay guys, it is about 20:30, about 8:30 or so. So we're going to wrap this thing up. We've been going for about 36 hours, a little over 36 hours. So let's look a final look here real quick. There's our control. Of course, all rusted out. Kind of expected that. Here's our FP10. It's got some rust on it naturally. Ours the Ezox. And this is our strike hold. And then our weapon shield, which actually looks pretty good in comparison. Our G-Lube. And then our copper based, our Glock factory copper grease. Okay, let me get this camera back up on the tripod. We'll talk about it and do a wrap up. Hang on for a second. Okay, what a run, guys, what a run. As I said earlier, this was overall, this was the best group that we tested. Of course, our control is just pretty much trashed. And of the products themselves, I'm gonna say the one that looks like it didn't fare the best was probably the FP10, but now it's more renowned. This particular one is more renowned to be a lubricant, and it even says on here that it's step 3 of 4, and even makes mention on here for to use shooter's rust prevent for extended rust prevention or better rust prevention. So this is more a lubricant than anything else, but still it did well. I mean, you've got to understand, like I said before, guys, this was a 100% saline. I mean, this is a harsh environment, and these overall did better than any group that we've done. And I think the first ones showed up somewhere between 6 and 8 hours. Now I mean, if you've got something that holds this off for 6 hours or better, you got a good product. I'm gonna say this, I'll just go out on a limb right now. If you're using G-Lube, I think you got a decent product. If you're using Weapon Shield, I think you obviously got a decent product. If you're using FP10, I think you got a decent product. Same thing with Gun Care, Strike Hold, and of course, the Glock factory grease held up. So there's a reason Glock uses it. It looks like it actually did the best of any of them. So we're gonna take a patch, we're gonna kind of start knocking some of this stuff down. Let's start with the copper grease, and a lot of this is gonna come off, is gonna be salt. And so looking at this copper grease set, guys, look at, I mean, it's clear. I don't think anything even etched into it at all. Doesn't look like we have any etched in rust at all. So this right here for 36 hours, I'm saying it did an excellent job. Maybe just a little bit right here at the top. Looks like it didn't pull it all the way out. But excellent job. Our G-Lube side. We did have some etching into the metal, but it's still very, very smooth. So that's a possibility, and just for giggles, we're gonna try to clean that up. I'm gonna use some of the G-Lube itself. Just mess with it just a little bit. We're going to see if it'll clean any of that up. Still some discolor here, but G-Lube did very, very well. So it didn't pull it all out, but it did rust a little, but it's still very, very good. Very well. Popping up here to our strike hold side. Okay, that's obviously, that's etched in pretty good. So it definitely had some. Let's take over to our weapon shield side. And it too has some etching. Not bad though. It's still not bad. It's the metal is actually smooth, but it obviously did go into it a little bit more. And this is the strike hold. It's obviously got some etching issues. But in all fairness, just like we did with the G-Lube, let's see if we can clean it up. Yeah, we've got some etching into the metal there with it. So it definitely has some, it did get through it. But again, it held off for, don't know exactly the amount of time, but it was well over 6 hours. Same thing with the weapon shield. Let's go ahead and let's hit it too. Great rep on the weapon shield. Good reputation there. A lot of people like it. And again, some discolor here, but the metal is very, very smooth. So did it actually etch into it? No. It does have some discolor, but whether that's actual rust into the metal, can't say. And then finally, our EZOX and our FB10. Let's look at our EZOX side here. I want some of this off. And it is a little bit rough in some areas, so it is possible that it could have, but it held up well. And with the quick little cleanup, yeah, but still got a little bit of etching in there, so it did get through it, but not bad still. And then finally our FP10. This one probably performed the least effective of all of them. But like I said, this particular product's claim to fame is its lubricating ability. And it even says on the package itself to use something else for rust preventative. Yeah, I don't know. It's in there pretty good. So that would be very hard to get that off. So that's where we're at with it, gents. I think the product that performed best is obviously the Glock factory copper grease. Hey, look at there. It just looks pretty good. A little bit, but not much. The least amount of all of them. The second best product, I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say Weapon Shield. Weapon Shield was able to clean up very, very well. Like I said, it's got some discolor, but the metal is very, very smooth all the way throughout. The G-Lube did very well as well. Again, some discolor. So probably a toss-up between second best on G-Lube and Weapon Shield. EZOX probably got the third, Strikehold, and then FP10. So that's where we're at. That's the way I rate them. So number one, tie between 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so, or 3, 4, 5, 6, however you want to call it. And that's where we're at. So there you go, guys. That's that test run right there. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry the vid's long, but it takes a while to do these kind of things. Leave comments. Let me know what you guys think. And hey, there we are. So the Glock copper grease, it held up. It held up. There's a reason Glock uses it. I think now we know why. That's all I got, gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think, and ladies, for the few ladies out there that do watch. And we got something different for next time. Take care. Later.